everyone, and welcome to Green Healing, where we talk about abuse and PTSD and CPTSD and alternative and natural healing. So, this is another different kind of episode, more like story time episode. And I'm here to talk to you about the fear of speaking up about abuse. Are you someone who is afraid to talk about what happened? Are you afraid to say, I have been abused? And I remember I was petrified. I was petrified of talking about it. I couldn't talk about it. I felt completely ashamed about what happened. And it took a while. It took a long time. And I had a lot of trouble talking about it. And the reason is that abusers, they like to manipulate and control us and brainwash us to the point that we don't talk about it, that we don't want to talk about it, that we're afraid to talk about it. They make us believe that if we talk about it, something bad will happen or we will be punished. And speaking up means respecting our needs and thus not them. Thus, we deserve punishment. And that will, some reasoning. Or they do these things to us. We're so, we get so lost in it. We're just so scared to speak up about it. And we don't know how others around us are going to react or respond to it. And the fear takes over. So, in the beginning, I didn't know who to talk to. I had friends and family who had witnessed things and lived things with me, but I still wasn't able to talk to my family about it. But I found one friend, and then two friends, and then three friends. Like, you find one person to whom you can speak about it, and then you'll be able to open up more and then speak to more people and then broaden your, speak more confidently about what happened. Because part of speaking up, saying, I have been abused, or if you currently are still in the relationship, saying, I am in an abusive relationship, it requires acknowledgement. And acknowledging that this dark, disgusting reality has happened or is happening to you, that's not a fun feeling at all. I don't know what words to use to describe it, but it's really not something you want to live through, but you have to live through it. And I mean this with all the love in my heart, because the day I started speaking up is the day my life started to turn around for the better. And I was numb in the beginning. I didn't want to talk about it. And yeah, there was a bit of like talking about it, but like really speak up about it and really deal with what happened. That's when things started to turn around. Things started to change. And I mean, I couldn't even stand up for, there was a situation where someone had accused me of being abusive about some stupid thing. And obviously they were using the word abuse without really understanding the amplitude of it. Everyone was drinking, everyone was drunk, and I couldn't stand up for myself because I felt so ashamed about what I lived. I couldn't say, you want to talk about abuse? Here, let me list what's abuse, and maybe we can have a discussion here. Obviously, maybe you're not aware of what it really is. Like, there are situations where you're faced with people who are like, huh? And it was one of those moments, and I couldn't even speak up for myself. And when I say speak up and speak out, and you're denouncing the abuse, you're talking about what happened, but it doesn't mean to attack the abuser. It doesn't mean to dox him or her online, pardon, or anything like that. In Canada, we have anti-defamation laws. So, and abusers are really, really good. Psychopaths, sociopaths, narcissists are really, really good at turning things around, making you look guilty, and victimizing themselves. And then it riles us up, and they know how to put you exactly where they want you. And I'm like, and it's really angering. They really know how to do that. Forget about them. Talk to someone close to you, someone whom you trust, someone to whom you can engage in an exchange of ideas and analyze what you have experienced. And I mean, online forums are very helpful, but some abusers like to hide in forums disguised as victims to find their next target. So you have to be careful. One-on-one is best. And so my abuser's family, they have no idea what he did to me. Unless they end up on one of these videos or one of these episodes of Green Healing and make the deduction that it must be him, they have no idea that it's him and what he did to me. And I'm not gonna go and say, hey, I'm past that. And yes, it was very tempting, but what you need to do is the moral and legal thing. And some of you might not like hearing this because I didn't like hearing it back then, but being abused does not give us the right to be abusive back. So just because a psychopath, sociopath, narcissist acted immorally towards us, it doesn't give us the right to act immorally towards them, because it just fuels them up. It feeds them. This is what they want from us, to make themselves look better and us look worse. And it's tough to realize that. And I hated it when I realized that. And I wish there was a way for me to exact vengeance and, and expose everything that happened. Well, I'm exposing what happened. I'm just leaving him out of it. I'm exposing what happened without any mention of who he is, what he does, anything, whatever, And I'm just openly talking about it in a way that's legal, because obviously, and in a way that's moral, because in the end, when you act outwardly morally, you're acting inwardly morally. And it might not seem so at first because you have suffered so much and it hurts so much, but you are entering the realm of self-respect, self-acceptance, and self-love by acting morally outwardly, and you will learn to act morally towards yourself, especially if you were or are where I once was with the patterns of self-punishment. Then that helps to get out of the self-punishment pattern. And it's tough. It's really tough. We don't like to hear it. We don't like to admit it to even ourselves. And it took me a while to get there. And, it was tough. It's like, I can't emphasize enough, but I can talk about it today. Hey, look at me, I'm talking about it today and I'm smiling about it because it's a fascinating subject to me, because I've done research about it. And it's like psychopaths, but it's because I've come to a place where I can find that happiness that he said I would never find. I'm like, screw you. I'm going to get on with my life. That's the best revenge. That's the best revenge. And, you can talk about it publicly if you want. You can scream it off the top of the roofs. Just leave the person who abused you out of it. Because then they can't come back and attack you. They can say, stop talking about me. Well, nothing says I'm talking about you. Nothing. Yes, I'm talking about you, but no one knows it's you. And there's nothing to indicate. And I'm doing exactly what I'm allowed to do. And I'm taking advantage of freedom of expression and freedom of speech and talking about what happened. The abuser can't get back to you and stop you. They can't punish you. They can't shut you up. Find one person to whom you can talk, and then you will find a bunch of people to whom you can speak about this. And it takes a while. It's a process. And just talk about what happened. The people, like your family, if they knew the abuser, then yes, you can reference them by name. But people who don't know the person, well, I just call them Narky or something else, which I won't say here. I have a few nicknames. Not all of them are very nice, and it's a way to get it off my chest. And it becomes so much easier to talk about it. And I'm not afraid anymore. I'm not ashamed anymore. There are details of certain things that still are cause of a bit of that shame or embarrassment or are more difficult to talk about. But they have become details amidst the massive abuse thing. So once you can say, I have been abused, then you can identify the types of abuse and say, I've been verbally abused. I've been this abused, that abused. And you can talk about your symptoms. There are details of the CPTSD symptoms that I still have trouble talking to about. And it took a while to tell some of those details to my family, but my husband is the person who knows the most things, and can, he's a very logical person, so we can bounce things and just discuss it. Like when you have someone like that, whom you really, really trust, and you can just talk about what's going on internally, every time something triggers, talk about it, every time, it's fine. Like I need a therapist, I have my EFT therapist. And it's great because you can go really in depth and do like hard work. But in the moment, when something triggers, when something happens, if you have someone you can call or just someone living with you, you can talk about it, you can analyze it, you can go through it step by step, break it down. You can link the trigger, the emotion, to something that happened when you were in the abusive relationship. That was so helpful for me to be able to just talk with my husband and say, okay, this is what I'm feeling. It reminds me of this moment, and when he did this and when he did that, and and we can just analyze it, and then I can understand, and then I can work on that and heal that, and then put that aside. Next. All right, let's work on that. Heal that. Put it aside. Next. There are a lot. If you have CPTSD, you know what I mean. There is a lot of to deal with. But seriously, it took me over a decade to get here. So don't think that you're slow or like that it's never going to happen. You're like, yeah, but it's already been 3 years, or it's been 6 months, it's been a year. it took me 10 years to be able to talk about it very openly, you know? So less than 10 years to be able to talk about it with my husband, and certain people knew certain things because they were there, they witnessed it, but to really openly talk about it, it took over a decade. Like, this green healing would not exist even a year and a half ago. You know, this is fresh, this is new, and it's so liberating, you know? So if whatever you're going through, if you feel that you're never going to get there, no. You are going to get there. The way to get there is, yes, find someone like a therapist. You can work it through. And then find someone close to you who cares about you, with whom you can talk about this. And then you will find so much liberation from it. And leave the abuser out of it. Do not feed the psychopath. Do not feed the narcissists. It's his or her supply. Do not feed the sociopath what they want from you. Find what you want from you, not what you want from them, about them, revenge, this and that, Forget about them. Focus on you, on yourself. Focus on your healing and your progress, no matter how long it takes, because it took me a long time. And so it might take you less time, it might take you longer. It's okay. Everyone's time of progression, the length, the how long it takes to progress to that liberation point is different for everyone. And I still have symptoms. I still experience rage. I still have triggers, usually closer to a specific point in the month. I won't lie. And I still have feelings of guilt. And, you know, sometimes I have moments where I just have to sit down and hug my plushies or something, because I feel these feelings of, in the past, that would make me punish myself. Now I don't punish myself, but it doesn't mean the feeling is gone. It just means I'm able to manage the feeling. It doesn't become me. It doesn't take over me. But that takes a while. That takes time. And expressing it, freedom of expression leading to freedom. And I think I'm going to end this there, because I like that note, and I think you understand the message that I was trying to convey today. And so just remember that, and take your time, and be kind to yourself, empower yourself, and be emotionally free.